Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Small Business Social Sunday. I'm your host, Hey Me 1985 on all my social medias. And now I have a podcast, so you can check me out on Spotify. So wherever you like to consume your content, YouTube, podcast, you can find me. Hey Me is the name of the podcast, but it's Small Business Social Sundays, which is the series. So today we have Marisol, and I'm excited because, this is her second appearance. So if you haven't watched her first interview on talking about total confidence, please check that out. She was like guest number 3. So episode 3, please check it out. But today we're going to be talking about her vending machine business. So Marisol, welcome again. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thank you. Like I always say, I'm honored to be a part of this. So thank you.
Yes. So I had the pleasure of when you first, revealed, because this was something that you were kind of working behind the scenes, and then you revealed hey guys, I got a vending machine business. I was like, oh snap. I'm like a big cheerleader when it comes to I see, seeing my friends, sorority sisters, family, accomplishing their goals and being in, opening these businesses. So I was like, that's awesome. I followed your page immediately. And then when you provided this webinar, I was like, sign me up. I think the first time I had a little conflict, but then I was like, I'm gonna go to your second one. And it was so informational. And I really the information you provided was so awesome. So let's start by just telling me how did this even come about? What inspired this vending machine business? Another, side hustle business that you got.
Absolutely. To be honest, this was not something that I wanted to do. You know how some people are I want to get a vending machine business. This is something I want to do. It was not in the works. I'm going to be honest with you. This was something that literally kind of landed. It was an opportunity that landed on my lap, and I just literally took it. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was definitely not that type of vibe of I was determined to get a vending machine business.
Right.
I was going to make it happen. No, I literally, like I said, it was an opportunity that landed on my lap, and I had to do a lot of intensive research before getting into this business because I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what was even the turnaround time? So you said it was an opportunity that presented itself. Yeah. So what was I guess the turnaround time between okay, I see this opportunity, and then you had the vending machine. I don't even know how to explain it. How does this all transpire?
No, great question. Great question. Well, the turnabout, it was literally not even 3 months, per se.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it was basically an apartment building, 2 apartment buildings that it's about 12 floors, each apartment building.
Okay.
And the laundry room, I noticed that they had a soda machine, but they didn't have a candy snack machine. And
right.
I just, I started asking the tenants here, would they, why there isn't a candy machine? Is that something that they would be interested in? And a lot of people were giving me feedback, and they were just yes, that would be really convenient to have something in here because, we'll be sitting here.
Right.
The laundry room's in the basement, to be a little bit more descriptive. So the laundry room, it's a big laundry room. It's in the basement, and you have up to 12 floors, this huge apartment building. And, and there was just a soda machine down there. So then I went to the leasing property manager of the property. And I just decided to just ask. I was asking her if anyone ever thought about putting a candy or snack machine in the laundry room. And her response literally caught me off guard because she was like, oh yes. She was like, we've been trying to find a company or someone to put a machine down there, but it's been very difficult to find a company. So when she said that to me, I just was like, oh, well, what if I decide to put a machine down there? And then of course she asked if I had a business, and I told her, I was like, not yet, but I was like, I'm in the works. That's the response.
Yes, good answer. Good answer.
And I was like, this would be a great opportunity for me as well. So she was just a leasing manager. So the leasing manager is just the person that pretty much literally, provides, like, does the tours and everything.
Yeah.
Apartment. So she had to link me to the property manager. And then once I spoke to the property manager, I was really nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was extremely nervous. And, I was just like, the worst thing he can say is no, right?
No,
so
right.
I literally.
But you had like a little good, like, inkling, because the person was like, yeah, we've been trying to find someone.
Yes.
So
yes. Yeah. So
that puts you in a good position, but I can see the nervousness because you're like, this is my first time even talking about it.
Absolutely. And yes, I did have the leasing manager backing me up on this. So that was a good thing. So I had the conversation with him that I told him that, I'm in the process, I'm in the works of starting a vending machine business, and this will be a great opportunity for me. And I would like to put a vending machine in your buildings. And, he was a great guy. And I guess the way that I presented myself, and he knew that this would be an opportunity for me. He said,
you presented yourself with total confidence.
Yes.
Hey.
And he said, he said, absolutely. He was like, I'm willing to work with you and give you this opportunity. He just basically told me, he was like, let me know what I need to do, because he was also new to this as well.
Right.
And just to give a backstory, the company, the soda machine that they have downstairs, it's ran, well, in the basement, it's ran by Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is obviously a huge company. So they've never actually worked with someone that was just a small business.
Independent.
Exactly.
Right. Contractor per se, or vendor.
Exactly.
Right.
So as soon as he gave me the yes and okay, that's when I decided to do a bunch of research online. I actually did download like an ebook that someone that I follow that's in the vending machine business. I downloaded his ebook, and I participated in one of his webinars as well. And I did all that within a week. So I'm like now downloading ebooks. I'm participating in a webinar, and I did this within a week. I'm literally jotting information.
Wow.
And I took the leap of faith, and I ended up investing in the machines. So when I invested in the machines, I did my research on that as well. There's so many avenues, so many different locations where you can purchase machines. So I know a lot of people always ask me where I got my machines, and this is something I discuss in my webinar. And I tell them where I get them, but I also list other locations where you can also purchase machines. My place is not the only place. That's basically what I'm saying.
Right. And I appreciate that part of your webinar, that you provide options. You're like, this is what I did, but in your research, you saw and provide like other opportunities for other people. So make sure, we'll get to that, but I know you provide a webinar for people to attend. So, okay. So then you did your research, you got ebooks, you also attended webinars to get information. And then what was like how did you what was the turnaround that? So 1 week deep dive research webinar. And then after that, what happened?
So that's when I decided to purchase my machines online. And that took about 3 to 4 weeks for them to deliver the machine to the building.
So you would have had it way sooner. It was just a delivery that took longer.
But not only that as well, I decided to start up a legitimate business. So then I did get an LLC. And I got the company name MT, which is Marisol Tours Vending Services. So I keep it simple. And so then I had to do all that paperwork for the LLC.
Right.
Get my business established. And I also had to create a contract, which I actually have a friend that's a lawyer. So she reviewed it for me.
Nice.
I actually talk about this a little bit in my webinar as well. I can't get into it too much because I'm not an accountant or a lawyer.
Right.
So I very, I specify that within my webinar. But yeah, so I did pretty much all the legal stuff. And then I was preparing, to get the machines. And when the machines got here, I had to basically needed assistance because the machines are heavy. So I had to, I had, some men on my side.
Some manpower to do that.
The machines are so heavy.
Yes.
So that was literally the bulk of the time. So then once the machines got here, then I had to set the machines. That was another, that took maybe like a couple days. And then that's when I went to go buy the product. Now in the beginning, this was, a lesson learned because I'm just starting out. I ended up buying, like I bought so much product because I think it was a little bit because I was excited and I thought that I was going to probably sell so crazy.
Right. Like I'm selling out, girl.
I overbought. And I think I talk about this in my webinar as well. I learned so much. With the product buying, and obviously products get expired too. So you have to be mindful of that as well. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So that was another transition that I had to learn about the products and everything. But once I put the products in the machine, I ended up downloading now a software. This is another software that I talk about in the webinar. And this is a software that you literally can do all the logistics, all the numbers. It does everything for you. And I had to set that up. And I'm a type of person, I'm big on numbers and making sure that everything is correct. And I didn't want to just half-ass it because I know people get into this business and some people are not even they don't even have an they don't. Yeah. So I
because you provided. Sorry to cut you off, because I know in your webinar, you provided you provided almost like a screenshot or a demo of how you keep your inventory and stuff like that. And I think the misconception was, because I didn't realize till recently now with the pandemic and, we have more time to learn stuff, that vending machines were an individual business. You thought it was every time you would go somewhere and the vending machine wouldn't work or something, you would go to the place of business, hey, they're sorry, you got to call the number and so on and so forth. So I never knew that a vending machine was an individual thing. So, how, I guess now that you've had yourself set up and you have the inventories, what's your day to day like? How has the pandemic affected you? How has that, transpired, and how long have you been doing this too?
I've been doing this now for 1.5 years.
Okay.
And my day-to-day basis, honestly, the machine makes money on itself,
Hey.
I'm making money, as I'm doing this interview.
Hey.
But I check the machines once a week. So I go to the machines, and I go collect the money. And if I feel like the machines to be, re-up and everything, I'll just, add more inventory to it. So usually once a week I'll go and pretty much scope out the location. And that's pretty much it. It's literally just once a week. And it's literally when I check out the machine, it's probably I'm probably there since I have 2 machines and I'm working on my 3rd one right now, but 2 machines, I'm there no more than an hour. So
wow.
Yeah, it's literally, and sometimes it's a little less than that, but it's no more than an hour. So yeah, you could just that kind of give you an idea, how
are both locations in the same place, or is it do you have to travel kind of far for each one? So no. Okay. So it's within your radius.
Yes, it's within my radius. And I suggest that to try to keep it within your radius, because if you are going to be going on a weekly basis, you have to be mindful. But if you're willing to commute or travel once a week, then, it all comes down to you as the individual, because I know if busy like me, I can't take.
Right.
I don't think me driving. I've had actually opportunities presented to me that were like almost an hour away and to place machines.
Wow.
And I kind of turned them down because my time is valuable. I'm busy, and for me to drive out there once a week for like an hour, I was just like, no, it's not worth it. So I'm more scoping within my radius, and that's kind of like
that's smart.
Staying at, yeah.
That's smart, because it's like, the benefit is that you can expand, you have control. Yeah. So you can expand, and you can not like necessarily like limit, but you're like, I'm at my cap, because how far you can extend. Like you said, we're busy women, we have other things going on. Mm-hmm. It's making money while you sleep, and and I guess like my next question is, have you had any, like, what was like one of the like lessons learned? What were one of the like, I messed that up, like, and how did you overcome that? Like and also, was this like an idea or a business that started during the pandemic too? Or was this just, well, no, you kind of said that. You said this was like not even pre-planned. This is literally something that you saw lacking, you inquired, and you're like, I'll get back to you on that. So I guess going back to the original question was, what was like your biggest lesson learned, and how did you overcome that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I've definitely had a lot of bumps on the road with my vending machine business. And I think the biggest one, which I also talk about it in my webinar, because I'm very transparent in my webinar. And I think that's the reason why I like doing the webinars, because I could put an ebook together and just like put information together and give it to everyone. But I like to be very transparent, because I know people see all the glamour parts of the vending machine. It makes you a lot of money, it makes you money. But then there's also parts that people don't talk about. And I think that it's every business, every business has a lot of negative things or things that happen that, sometimes we don't talk about. We just take
or prepared for, right?
Exactly. So one of the biggest things that happened to me in New Jersey last September, we had Hurricane Ida, and and one of my locations got flooded. Meaning that my vending machine got flooded. So it was like,
oh my God,
completely done. And I didn't have,
oh my God,
I didn't have, I did have insurance, but I didn't have insurance that covered for flood, if that makes sense. Because I ended up finding out that.
How would you know? Right.
I wouldn't have known that. So that was really a huge lesson learned. And thankfully, the property manager was able to put the machines under the commercial insurance. So he was able to compensate me and give me a check to basically get a new machine and everything. So thankfully that happened. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, the machines are up and running now, but this time around, I made sure I put insurance that covers flooding. So, insurance, a lot of people don't think about that when it comes to businesses. I mean, businesses in general, because people don't think of like the liability that your business can go through. And and I knew that my business, especially vending machines, I know that they're known for like vandalism, breaking them in or like shaking them, whatever the case is. I had insurance covered to that extent, but not with the weather, like flooding and stuff like that. So, that was a huge lesson learned for me. I'm sure if you was to ask this question to other business owners that are in the vending machine, they could probably tell you a lot of other stories, because I've actually spoken to some people that they've had their machines vandalized, and, it happens, and, but that was literally up to this date. That was like the biggest, and that set me back almost 6 months. So I was not in business for almost 6 months, and then I got my business back up and running. And that I took a huge hit with that one. I'm not.
Oh my gosh! But
I look at it like this, and the crazy thing is, I took it very calmly. Surprisingly, I was very calm, and I looked at it as like, you know what, I'm gonna come out of this even better. And honestly, that's exactly what has happened. Like they pretty much have a brand new laundry room downstairs, and the machines are brand new, and I feel like this time around is like 10 times better than when I first started. So I'm just like, honestly, everything happens for a reason. I was patient and it was a lesson learned, but you know, God is good.
Yes, it makes perfect sense because it's almost like it was like an unfortunate situation, but you came out better because they had to redo it. Yep. So everything looks newer, more welcoming. People are probably more excited or more like, yeah, I'll go downstairs and hang out. And now I'm hungry. Now I'm thirsty and everything. So it's more like, oh, now it's making more money probably than before. So that makes perfect sense. It was definitely a blessing in the midst of the chaos. Like, that's awesome. I'm just so excited that, you know, that you're someone that I know that has like really has been transparent with this business, in the vending machine business, because I felt like a lot of people weren't aware of that this is something that you can do, and the overhead is, you know, not like the starting, I guess the overhead or starting point isn't that much, and you go into that into your webinar. All right, girl. So tell us all the details about your webinar.
Absolutely. So I'm hosting my next webinar this month. It's going to be Wednesday, May 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be a 2-hour webinar. I will be completely transparent. I will be providing you the blueprint on how I started my vending machine business and how you can start your vending machine business. I can tell you some points of what we'll be covering. We'll be covering where to buy the machines, the contract templates, where to buy product, where to find locations, the credit card readers, how to handle your money, and much more.
When I tell you that she gave us like the inside scoop, like you do not want to miss this webinar. Like I said, I participated when she hosted it. I have like 4 to 5 pages of notes front and back. Marisol is very transparent. She screen shares. She shows us like whatever it is that she's using, she's providing that for us and other options as well. So you don't want to miss it. And you have like a special going on right now, right? Go.
Yes. I have a special going on, and it's 75%. It's like the best deal out right now. So get it while you can. It's limited seats only. I host this webinar every 3 months. So if you can't get into it this month, I'll see you at the next one in 3 months from now. But get it while it lasts, because I have 75% off. The link is in my bio. You can follow me at MT Vending Services, and the link is in my bio. So you can message me if you can't find it, or email me mtvendingservices@gmail.com, and I can get you right in there.